7:33, 27, moving up to 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're back with our friends from the Unit Trust Corporation. In this segment, we focus on why do I need to pay attention to debt in my financial planning? Well, that's a very good topic. Sometimes we like to sweep it away. Our guests are Investment Center Manager Janice Jackman and Lisa Marie of Veau-Best, Marketing Manager at UTC. Ladies, good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for joining us this morning. The bad four-letter word, debt. debt. But then there's constructive debt and there's destructive debt.
Right. Correct.
Let's make the distinction.
All right, Paul, just want to say thank you, and it's always a pleasure being here, and good morning to our viewers. You know, the thing about it with financial planning, it is very pivotal in establishing where we want to be in achieving our financial goals. But as you said, that little four-letter word, debt, it can really cause a detriment in us achieving that goal. And so therefore, you need to be mindful, how can we get around that and place ourselves in a position where it is not a hindrance to us, rather. And one of the key things that we need to do there is to differentiate between good and bad debt. So that is key in the role there. And when we talk about good debt, and I should probably start about giving a brief or simple definition of debt. And it's really a financial obligation or commitment to others.
Mortgage, car note.
That's right.
University.
Credit cards.
Credit card. Well,
that's right.
Credit card could be in the middle.
Yes, yes. So what we're saying is that what we consider to be good debt is that something that will create some economic value to you in the future, and in short term not hindering your commitments or your financial goals. Whereas bad debt, conversely, it hinders your current financial situation and it does not add or yield any value to you in the future.
Well, at least then, would I be absolutely correct in saying that good debt can only be achieved through planning? Lisa Marie.
Absolutely. Financial planning.
You don't jump on good debt just by guess.
Yes.
You just stumble upon it. You have to plan.
You have to plan and you have to know how to manage it. Managing debt is really the important part of getting out of that debt cycle of owing and getting more debt and not paying it off. So even if you're in a situation where you're owing someone or you're in debt or you have a healthy financial condition, there are some guidelines that you can follow in order to manage your debt. One of them is know how much you owe and know who you owe it to. So you have a simple schedule outlining who are your creditors and what is the corresponding interest rate. Another one is to target the repayment of credit with the highest interest rate, credit cards.
First of all.
Pay that off first. A lot of us say, okay, I'm going to pay make my minimum payment, and that really isn't the best way to manage that.
Cycle of just
that is a cycle. If you pay only the minimum payment, then you're likely not to pay off your debt in a shortest period of time, and you're also likely to pay more interest. Another tip is also to accelerate your debt reduction by making extra payments. Make sure those payments go towards the principal and not the interest, and that way you're able to also reduce the amount you owe as well as reduce the amount of interest you're paying.
Janice, in terms of the planning aspect, your colleagues always talk about the importance of starting early.
Correct.
You know, in terms of really understanding your debt profile down the road. When you get a house, when you have a mortgage, when you have car notes, when you have just put aside money for medical expenses, for universities, education for your kids, and really setting those up, as Lisa said, in terms of priority, and then you have your incidental costs,
correct,
credit card payment. Let's talk about the importance of that long-term planning in terms of managing your debt profile.
Yes, because as we know, the thing about it is that debt can have a really enormous, that's right, an enormous impact, whether it be positive or negative on our financial well-being and health and financial health. And when you're looking at it, as you said correctly, is that you need to start planning early. And you know, at the Unit Trust Corporation, we have a multitude of investment opportunities in which can help you to guide you along that path. When we look at, we have the long term, just as you suggested, for like the education, for mortgages and so forth. We have under our growth and income portfolio, we have the Student Investment Protection Plan. We have the Children Investment Protection Plan, which will take care of the future well-being of your children with respect to their education. We have also the long-term under the investment and retirement fund, where it is that you can save towards your retirement, because we know when you reach a stage of retirement, your income is significantly reduced, and you need to have something that would supplement it. So once you begin early, you can actually provide yourself or have an opportunity that you wouldn't have to change your lifestyle in any dramatic or drastic way. You can still maintain your lifestyle. Added to which, when we're looking at the short term, because we have the incidentals, as the case may be, and you know, we want to keep away from things like higher purchase and the credit card, using the credit card as much as possible, unless you can do it effectively. And when we're looking at
you have a definite timeline for paying it off.
That's right.
And not just hoping it'll disappear.
That's right. and sticking to those minimal payments.
And many people just living in, I don't want to say La La Land to be insulted, but they just feel, you know what, let me just not deal with that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when you see that minimum payment for $100, I can manage that. That is manageable, not knowing that the bulk of it is going towards interest and your principal.
Come back around to bite you.
That's right. That's right. And that's when we say we're drowning in debt. It literally means that we can't function.
Let's talk about, not everyone would have followed proper financial planning protocols and processes. And if we have found ourselves in some level of debt at some point, what is the best approach to take in terms of trying to get out of that cycle? Because really, all is not lost. You have life, you have breath, you have strength, you're hopefully employed at that point. There's a way to get out of it. There's a way to institute some sort of definitive change from what you've learned.
Yes. Well, firstly, we should try to avoid debt as much as possible.
Don't spend anymore.
Don't spend anymore. What you need to look at is saving for things that you want. Understand what your needs are, what your wants are. If you decide, okay, I want to get something nice for myself, save for it, and then purchase it when you can afford it.
At that point, should you be even thinking of nice for yourself? I'm specifically talking about someone who's found themselves in significant debt and are trying to get out of it at that point and starting to prioritize and saying, well, you know what, I've not been financially prudent and I want now to assess my situation and look toward, one, getting out of the debt, but also two, at the same time, putting aside some sort of investment. Yeah.
Well, you have to start budgeting wisely immediately.
That's the word, budget.
Allocating your income, determining what is going to be your savings and what is going to be your expenditure. If you know part of your expenditure is going to be towards investing, then you need to allocate what is going towards my short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Set those saving goals if it's for home ownership, if it's for your education, if it's for a big vacation that you'd like to take. These are the types of goals that you need to have allocated in your mind and understand what those costs are very early in the game, and also build a 3-month fund that will cater for any expenses that you may not.
So you should be able to take care of yourself for 3 months?
For 3 months, based on your living expenses, and that will basically help to prepare you for any eventuality coming in the future.
Janice, how do you start talking to your children, your young adults, about debt as a parent?
Well, first of all, you don't want to make them think that debt is something bad.
All the time?
Yes, all the time. Because for most of us, the average person, you have to incur debt at some point in time for the mortgages and so forth. So you let them know debt is not something bad. Don't look at it as something bad on the onset. But it's something that can be managed, which is key. And when you're looking...
Can or should?
Well, it can and it should.
I'd go stronger and say should.
Yes, it should be managed. And because you don't want to make it feel that, others feel that, it's something that once you're out there, that you have to keep acquiring things and it has to be done through debt. You can actually, as Lisa alluded to, you have ways in which you can save or invest, and you can acquire things if you do it the correct way and not be drowning in debt after all. So it's just a matter of starting early, being clear and set on what your goals are, so you know exactly what I can put aside. Because being realistic or putting it real, as the young people say,
keeping it real,
keeping it real, correct, as a youth say, is that at the end of the day, you must have a positive cash flow to invest and to acquire things.
I'm glad you brought that up. Lisa Marie, how important is part of your planning to also invest in yourself? Because with an ever-increasing cost of living, if you don't see yourself starting to make more money, starting to derive different energy streams to compensate for that, even because some jobs, with the present economic situation, Yes, it will eventually roll out because it's cyclic. But you will also need to start putting aside money to invest in yourself, to increase your possible revenue streams, to also mitigate debt down the road, because it's just going to continue to increase.
Yes. When we conduct our financial planning seminars, that is a critical part of what we try to educate the public on. Investing in yourself is critical to you advancing financially, just as a general person, your growth as a person as well. What we like to encourage people is to look at ways that you can earn extra income based on a skill or a trade that you may not necessarily would have tapped into before, and see how it can generate a supplementary income for you, thereby increasing your disposable income.
Don't just increase your income. Plan what you're going to do with the income.
Yeah, and
so
plan
you just
what
say,
you're going to
oh,
do
okay, I have more money, let me just spend it.
Yeah.
And I can't have a cost.
Yeah.
Because, I read, I read with an increase in income, let's say every dollar you increase in income, the majority of the public, they spend $1.10.
Right.
Oh, so that's not the way to manage it.
No.
Yeah.
So you earn $1, but yet you increase your expenses by $1.10. So which always gives you the negative impact.
That's not managing that.
That's
and more
right.
information at ttutc.com.
Or 624-8668. You can give us a call, and we can give you UTC advisory services or financial planning seminars.
It's so easy talking to you. You break it down so well. Thank you very much. We'll be talking to Janice Jackman, Investment Center Manager, and Lisa Marie, the Veau-Best Marketing Manager at the Unit Trust Corporation. More coming up after this short break.